What a beautiful day today, guys. So I'm here at the parking lot, at the very top of the parking lot here in this building. It's Saturday and I have to come to work, but it's still a little early, guys. So welcome back to my channel, Pinoy Abroad. Today I'm gonna be discussing a little bit about the question I was asked a few days ago by one of the subscribers. He was asking about the basic salary here for nurses in Minnesota. I wanted to answer that question, but not directly answer it. And what I mean by that is, I'm not gonna tell you my salary or how much I'm making here as a nurse because every person is different. Every person has his own experience, and you get paid based on your experience, based on how you market yourself to the employer. So what I mean by that is that if you apply to a hospital and then you write your resume and you basically put all your experience on that resume, so you're basically marketing yourself. So that will give your employer a hint, an idea of how much they're gonna have to offer you. But that being said, there's also some basics here. So for new grads here in Minnesota, I think they start off at $30, sometimes a little over than that. $30 per hour, or sometimes a little over than that, depending on what company you work for. So for nursing homes, at the nursing homes, sometimes they can really, they'll haggle with your rate. So that's one thing that I don't like, is because they really cheap out on you. I'm a nurse and I'm an RN and I'm a BSN, and BSNs are paid better than the APNs or the associate degrees nurses. They're also RNs, but they went to school for 2 years. For BSN, they went to school for 4 years. So typically BSNs are paid a little higher than the APNs. So most Filipinos are BSNs because we don't have APNs in the Philippines, and so we get paid as BSNs here. So that's something you have to take note. And if you come here to Minnesota and you apply for a job and they try to cheap out on you and give you an offer and they say, well, I'm paying you $26 per hour, don't take that. I have encountered that kind of situation before, wherein I was like, because they thought I was a new grad and they didn't want to take my experience from the Philippines. And so I was firm with my decision. I said, no, I'm not taking the offer. Go. I wasn't being very rude, but I was like, I'm not taking the offer. I moved on and looked for another facility who would give me the rate that I deserved. So until finally found another nursing home, was a TCU, and they paid me the rate that I was asking for, and they started me with the rate that I was asking for. So typically, if you're a new grad or something, not to say that that's what I'm getting paid for, but if you're a new grad, typically they start you off at $30. So and then after that they increase you, but there's a really slow increase at the nursing home. So I would not advise you to stay in the nursing home. Maybe after a year or two, move on to a hospital setting, because that's where all the money is and all the benefits are. So guys, so when you get that experience, apply right away to the hospital. At the hospital, my rate is like $10 higher than the rate I was paid at the nursing home. So, and also you get a ton of benefits. So you get good healthcare insurance, good dental insurance. There's a ton of different benefits like 401k. There's other stuff too that you can get, like I forgot. There's a whole list across the board, and I can't mention them one by one. So yeah, just a piece of advice. So guys, to also answer that question from my subscriber, so if you start a basic rate here, let's just say that's the basic rate, the $30 per hour. So you do your math, and if you're single, then your paycheck, multiply it times 0.20 or something, because if you're single, at least 20% is taken out of you as tax, and then whatever um, the result is, that's what you take home. So I remember when I still started fresh and I was taking home about 2 grand for 2 weeks. it was $2,000 in 2 weeks, and sometimes a little over than that if I did some overtime. And then, I was kind of okay with it. I didn't feel like I was lacking money. I didn't feel like I was short of money or budget. But then when I started working at the hospital, I didn't have to work 10 days a week or 10 days in 2 weeks anymore, because I was paid pretty decently. So I work 7 days in 2 weeks here in the hospital. I do have a part-time that I do sometimes once in a while if I need some extra money. um, and that's good. Life is good. So just a piece of advice, guys: if you come here to Minnesota, make sure that you find the right facility and don't let anybody cheap out on you. So if they cheap out on you, there's a lot of different facilities and a lot of different hospitals out there who's willing to pay your rate. I know somebody who came here from Saudi Arabia. He's my colleague now. He's my coworker, and he applied to this particular hospital here in Minnesota, and they did not want to take his experience from Saudi Arabia. And he was upset because why not, And then he finally applied here at this hospital. I showed you that hospital, and that's the hospital right there that I worked. And it's a pretty big hospital. It extends all the way to the back, and this is part of the hospital too, and also this building here where I'm parked at. So he applied finally here, and they started him at I think $40, and then added, because they took his experience from Saudi Arabia. So every year of experience is like $2 increase per hour. So I think he had like 3 years of experience, so multiply that by 2, it's like another $6 extra. So from the basic rate of the hospital. So let's just put an example: the basic rate is $36 or $37 plus 6, so that's going to be $43. And then he works night shifts, so another extra $3, plus he works weekends, so that's extra $4. So that would put him at close to $50 per hour. So by that, so just make sure that after you get all your experience from the nursing homes or elsewhere that you work, make sure that you apply at the hospital, because like I said, that's where you get all your that's where you're gonna get all your benefits, and plus the pay is really good. So I hope I've answered that question, guys. Even if you work at the nursing home, let's say you decide to just stay in the nursing home because work at the nursing home is pretty laid back and it's not as busy and it's not as crazy. So some nurses just decide to stay at the nursing home. Even then, you're still gonna be okay here in Minnesota, because there's not a lot of taxes, especially if you're buying necessity like grocery, food, clothes, and shoes and all that stuff. They're not taxed. If you compare it to California, I guess a little higher as far as rate over there, but I think the nurses start off at 40 plus over. But the thing is, with California, the standard of living is really high. I've been to California before, and expenses are really way up to the roof, and I just can't see myself living there because of all the expensive stuff that and I think the competition over there is too high too, because it's a populous state. It's not overpopulated, but there's a lot of people there, a lot of professionals, and there's just so much competition. Over here, there's not much of a competition, so there's many jobs that are available, and there's always jobs, especially if you're a nurse. I hope you guys got something from my video here, and I hope you give this a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, if you're a nurse, give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel by hitting the bell button so that I can notify you on my next video. Just don't forget to hit the bell button so that I can notify on my next video. And I think that's it, guys. Share this video with your co-nurses, your family, or someone who you think can benefit from this as well. So I'll see you next time. Peace out.